I agree with
you. Work experience. What we doing?
That if you do a job, you should be able to go to another job.
Listen. Look. Let's give him, like you said, to the 27th of June, right? We're already under the consensus, right? 27th of June. If this guy, obviously, this is probably about a month being at Arsenal, right? Yeah. If obviously after it's coming up to a month and he's still not doing nothing, all right, cool, Aaron, keep shooting, Aaron. Yeah, but
okay, that's cool. To be fair, your thing's a month, mine's now.
Aaron, don't forget we're also doing contract.
What if Arteta's not listening to Berta's targets?
His responsibility, guys.
This is why I'm blaming everyone.
Yeah, but that's all well and good. So who's his who then? So what about if we say, Arteta's got the Sesko deal down the line and the Zubimendi? How do we know that the Gabriel Magalhaes deal went down the line and we just should be praising?
This is why I'm saying I'm on to everyone because we're hearing Berta wanted Gyökeres, my man wants Sesko. It seems like where the time's turning. This is why for me, I'm not a fly on the wall in it. I don't know. I think it's a bit of everything. I'm on to everyone.
The fact is, we don't know. But what we do know
is why I'm on to everyone. We win a trophy, everyone gets praised. We do shit stuff, you all hold corn. That's my thing.
I agree.
Nah, I can't.
I just want to ask something.
I'm not picking and choosing.
I don't think the owner
obviously Bird just walks in, but still.
I can't be like, the owner is the one who made a bad decision that we signed Calafiori. Like, how can I look at Josh Kroenke and blame him for signing Calafiori and signing Marino and not buying a striker? I can't, man. And then this guy came and gave us money to bid for someone in January, and the manager chose not to take that money and be creative and find other solutions. It didn't mean we had to buy someone, and you know what I mean? We didn't have to loan someone. We could have recalled Vieira, bare minimum, plan D. I was acceptable of that.
I agree with you, I agree with you. But do you know what? Where you have to blame the place some blame on the Kroenkes is why on earth would you give Mikel Arteta a pay rise in September for £15 million a year when no one was in for him and don't win anything? Why would you handcuff yourself like that? That's bad shit, bruv. Why would you do that? Why would you not have just given him until the end of the season and gone, I'll tell you what, Mikel, there's no one in for you anyway. Because when you leave Arsenal Football Club, the only way is that way. The only way is down, Mikel. Yeah, guess what? Yeah, because who's going up? Who's going up? Manchester City ain't having, Liverpool ain't having him, Real Madrid ain't having, Barcelona ain't having, PSG ain't
Barcelona want him. By the way,
no, they don't want him. They don't want him.
Come on.
They don't want him. Why would they want him when they've got a successful winning manager?
No,
that's just an absolute fact.
Exactly.
Now they do. Not in September, bruv. Not in September. He was already there. He was already there. Not in September when he got the pay rise. He was already there. Yeah, no, but that's not when the pay rise was. So
the only blame I put on the
statistically correct.
As you say, Aaron is not pulling the trigger. You're right. It's their power to pull the trigger. And
why would they give him £15 million a year and make him the most highest paid manager in the world when no one was after him and they could have just waited until the end of the season and done what they are? Why? Because they've gone handcuffed him. Handcuffed. And that's what we do. We see the same thing in the manager. We see the same thing in contract negotiations in terms of the players. Round and round and round and round and round we go. Groundhog settings. Bill Murray. The alarm's going off.
That's not true, Aaron. We lost Van Persie. We lost Nasri. We lost Clichy. We lost all these players.
All irrelevant under the Arteta thing.
I don't know what that. Yeah, I don't know what you're on with that.
All irrelevant under the Arteta thing.
No, it's not irrelevant. Arteta's the manager, and the players wouldn't choose to extend unless they appreciated the manager and felt like the project was willing to.
I agree with that.
Well, they would do if you're going to get. Martinelli was on 30 grand a week, and then we give him 70 under Unai Emery. He had one good season for Arsenal 2 years ago, and then we give him 180. That's why they signed. That's why they signed. Martin Odegaard was on 85 on his loan. Then we signed him. He was on 110. He had one good season under Arsenal. 240k a week. That's why they sign, bro. Because we give them over and over and over and over the odds. That's why they sign, bro.
So basically, you're saying that your club is stupid enough to give players contracts above their market value. You're basically saying we're mad.
To be fair, all clubs have made that problem.
Finally, you're getting it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I know. I'm spelling out what you're saying because just to be clear on what you're saying, and I agree with some of it. I don't agree with it entirely because, in my opinion, our club.
I'm going to statistically and factually shut you down when you finish. Don't worry.
Okay.
I've got the
our club does research to understand how much a player is worth before we're not just going to offer a player wages for no reason and pay them 4 times what the market is going to pay them.
Okay.
So it was a research for kind of saying, my guy.
Can I come back then? Okay. Kiwior at Spezia was on 2.5k a week. Arsenal paid him 58k. Okay, no worries. Trossard was on 40k at Brighton. We give him 90. Timber was on 51. We give him 90. That's fair. Magalhaes was on 14k at Lille. We gave him 90k. Yeah, Tomiyasu was on 11k at Bologna. We gave him 50k, 55k, and then when we was injured, we gave him a pay rise, and we still haven't seen him. Okay, no problem. Raya, Brentford, 25k. We give him 100. Girantini, 18k. We give him 75 of them, give him 110k. Calafiori was on 11 at Bologna. We give him 120. Marino at Sociedad, 55. We give him 130. Ben White, 40. Hold on. Ben White, 40. We give him 120. Zinchenko was on 20k. We gave him 150. Martinelli, we gave him all the way up to 180k a week. Martin Odegaard, 80k, 240k. Rice, 60k, 240. Jesus, 90k, 265. The statistics and facts heavily weigh in my thing. So when we're saying, do we give players 2, 3, 4, 5 times their worth? I've just told you we fucking do. We are that retarded in the transfer window. That's all facts. You cannot argue that. Go and check it. I'll even send it to you. Hashtag facts.
I hear what you're saying about the contracts, and I believe that the Premier League is always going to overpay because one, we're a big club, and you're coming to the biggest spending and the highest marketing value in terms of monetary. So players are already expecting that. You're right. Maybe we may pay a bit more, but I think
we may pay a little bit more. No, we do pay a lot more. That's probably about 75% of the squad.
My point is that other teams have to do this as well. You're acting as if Arsenal's the only team that is paying,
we're not talking about other teams. We're talking about Arsenal.
No, but you need to compare. But again,
we're talking about Arsenal. I don't care about other teams. We're talking about Arsenal. The thing is, yeah, the benchmark. Exactly right. The benchmark is. Guess what? Go on. Sorry, go on.
No. What I'm going to say is that, right, we actually do need to compare it to other teams in the Premier League because we need to see what they're paying. And if they're looking across and they're saying, hold on, they're getting
what the teams we should be comparing to? What the teams are comparing to? Man City and Liverpool, that win stuff.
Yeah, I hear that, but still, we're in there, no? But aren't we wanting?
We're not winning anything.
I hear that, even though we're not winning anything, but don't we want to?
If we win stuff, then the comparison gets out. If we don't win anything, then it's a false comparison because we don't win anything.
Listen to me. Ain't players, aren't we going? The reason why we're actually wanting to sign Sesko, Gyökeres, and the rest of these players, because we wanted to come in and do what? Win trophies, right? So everyone is coming in. We want to win a trophy, all right? I think, especially, you need to remember this. It's no longer a point. I'm just speaking to the player. I'm speaking to the agent. The agent is going to be like, well, listen, this guy's a world beater. He's going to be in about a year. He's got so much potential, right? 15k now. He's going to be 100k.
And this is how much other teams are willing to offer.
You're all dancing around the statistical facts that I've just given you.
No,
we are horrendously overpaying for shit players.
Some, yes.
What you're saying is not entirely. Not some, most. I'll send you it over. It's most.
Right.
I just labeled 3/4 of the squad, and most of them were more than double, more than treble. Some of them about 10 times over.
Can I ask you this? Casemiro, Mason Mount, yeah, 300k, done nothing.
Don't care.
Mason Mount, hold on. Mason Mount, 275k. Grealish, 375k, right? I know that you're mentioning that they've won things, right? But you need to think about it now. Is that
they've won stuff.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that when they're choosing to come to these teams, they're expecting a certain wage. They're looking across the board and like, okay, he's earning that over there. He's earning that over there. There's a couple of clubs that are in for me, and they're going to offer me the same thing. You have to pay what you have to pay.
I think you can afford to. Okay, I think you can afford to pay what you have to pay when you're a successful winning team. When you're not, it's desperate. It's poor business. When you're not winning anything, you're just overpaying for crap. If Arsenal would have won the Premier League title and an FA Cup, you'd have gone, who really gives a shit what everyone's on because Arsenal just won the Premier League and the FA Cup?
Which was my point about
but we don't win them stuff. So now you can go, maybe we're just overpaying for crap.
You can't go back and redo. So what you're saying, I agree with. But just because we didn't win something doesn't change the fact that at the beginning and when we signed them, we had to offer that to give them the opportunity to try and win something.
Okay, so
even if you don't, doesn't mean that changes your decision on what you made. You agree.
3 summers ago, 3 summers ago, we set a benchmark and gave Gabriel Jesus. We didn't know how that was going to go, but we knew he wasn't going to be the 2025 goal of season striker. We knew that anyway. We gave him 265k. So when
he was looking at it.
He wasn't.
He's a 27-year-old man. He's a 27-year-old man who's never scored more than 14 league goals in an entire career.
Yeah, because he never played striker for an entire season. He was always playing on the wing.
And he got injured after 4 months. So and by the way, he had a goal scoring barren run of about a month and a half in that. By the way, he was playing fantastically well. Fact, I can't argue with that. But he also wasn't scoring; he was assisting. So we can't go down that avenue because stats are on my side. We just can't. Anyways, we set a benchmark of 265k a week. So when Havertz comes in and goes, all right, yeah, sweet. Who's your highest earner and what position does he play? And Arteta's going, well, we signed as a midfield, which is a crock of shit because now he's playing up front because he was shit midfield. What is that streak of? Oh, yeah, Mikel Merino. But anyways, I'll digress. He goes, all right, we'll have 280k a week. Boom. So now guess what happens? When we sign Benjamin Sesko, or when we sign Gyökeres, if we sign either, guess what happens? Their agent's going to come in and go, all right, what's your striker on?
Normal.
What's your highest earner on? 280k a week. And he's a striker. Do you reckon as a good agent, he's going to go, all right, well, if Kai Havertz, the geezer we've came in to replace, is on 280k a week, then, well, we want 280, 300. Yeah. We set our own benchmark of ridiculous crap. We've overpaid. We do need to reset. Is Havertz worth 280k a week? No. Is Jesus worth 265 a week? No. But they're going to use that as the benchmark, especially when the specific player that we're bringing in is going to be their replacement. They're going to go, well, if Sesko's coming in and he's your 80 million pound man, we want to put him on more than 280k a week.
And you do have to wonder what Kai Havertz's wage is meant for the renewals of our key players. All of a sudden, you've got 3 players on there. We've got 3 strikers in there, neither of which have ever proven in the top 5 leagues they can score more than 15 league goals in the last 3 seasons. And yet they're on 750k a week to 800k a week between them in wages costing over 200 million pounds. And people are trying to tell me Arsenal Football Club ain't in a mess. It's a fucking joke. An absolute steaming pile of shit. That's what the strike force is.
I think it's a mess.
It's a laughable joke. Yeah. It's a joke.
Man United are in a much worse state in terms of.
And look what they're doing, bro. And they win trophies.
I can't agree with that, man.
We don't have as many players on high wages as them, bro. And but I do hear some of your points. Come
on, man. I get it, Aaron. But for you to say we're in an absolute mess, nah. I disagree.
Well, we are because we ain't won anything in the last 5 years.
We're not in a mess.
Manchester United is the worst Manchester United team we've ever seen. They've made about 5 or 6 finals and they've won 2 trophies in the same period. So if Manchester United are in a mess, then what the fuck are we in if we're in our best?
And that's the thing. And that's we're not in a mess. Listen, guys. Aaron, we're not in a mess. We just need to sign the players that we need to sign.
We're in a hole. We're in a kettle.
Wages? Nah, bro.
We're in purgatory.
Come on, guys.
We are. We're just in la la land. We've got a fan base
right now. We're in limbo. That's what
we are.
And
that's to the fans though. I think internally, Cronkies, they're cool. We're in the champs.
That's what he is. Kill the head vampire. Arteta Dracula. Arteta, aka Dracula. You get rid of him, and then everyone else wakes up. And then everyone goes, "Oh yeah, what are we doing for the last 6 years? That's what we need to do. That's why we don't win anything because Dracula Arteta is allergic to silver. That's what he is. That's what he is.
He's not the one who decides.
He's allergic to silver.
He has no say on transfer fees and he has no say on wages.
Arteta has literally come out, my friend, and quote by quote said, "I have the last say on transfer." So you're talking about
but that's on a player, not on actual financials. Come on, you're smarter than that, bro. Come on.
Yeah. But you just said about players. Yeah, but we're talking about players. We're talking about
deal with finances. That I agree with you. That
we're talking about players,
but it's not on Arteta, bro. That's on Richard Garlick. That's on Tim Lewis.
But we weren't talking. I was talking about players. I wasn't talking about so. Where is the money then? Where's the money? Because in the last 2 years, we've renewed the Fly Emirates deal. We've also renewed Adidas. We've also renewed Visit Rwanda. We've also changed our training ground to Sober Realty. We've had Bitcoin investments. We've also had off of PSR and FFP. The last European and no Europe come off of it. We've never been in a healthier position. Why last summer we having to make profit in the transfer market? Why are we not spending any money now?
Which is why I questioned you, Aaron, with whether it was our choice or whether we had to. I still don't know whether it was our choice or we had to.
If we chose to not spend any money, that's even fucking worse. And keep the manager. Last summer, if we chose, then that means we didn't choose to back the manager. Why is he still here for another
No,
year?
but I don't agree with that, Aaron. I don't agree with that, Aaron, because we did back him because we gave him money to spend. Even though we made a profit, think about it. He did spend some money, right? So they did back him. He chose the players that.
Yeah, and look what he spent it with. Look what he spent it on.
I know. He misspent it.
He misspent
it. And it's not only
and Miguel Marino.
Window, by the way.
We've done a good job as an emergency striker, though. Oh, yeah, and when he got played back in midfield after Thomas Partey got injured, he found his level. Vitinha, Ruiz, and co took the piss out of him when he went back in midfield, and that's why we signed him. What are we doing here? Come on. Calafiori's class. What class is he? What selling underwear?
Nah, Calafiori's cool, man. He's got a pattern up, but I believe in Calafiori.
Brother, one-on-one, he's Andre Santos. One-on-one.
Yeah, he's got a lot to work on. 1,000,000%.
Bro.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
Nah, he's not Santos.
Going forward is so much
better. He's a million miles away from Manchester.
Yeah, way better.
That's cap. This is the only thing about my fellow Arsenal fans is that we see a player and he might not be the best right now. For example, the older guy, the Calafiori. Yeah, listen, Calafiori, he has some things to improve. He's 21, 22, first of all. Right? Bro.
That's cool. So, yeah, but last summer, when we needed a team to build for now, why are we signing 21-year-olds then?
Bro, all right, cool. So in hindsight, if we didn't sign Calafiori with those injuries that we had, right? Bearing in mind, I'm with you in terms of the strikers and the attackers that we're supposed to sign. But if we didn't make those signings, where would have been? We would have been where Man United have been, or even Tottenham.
We would have been there if Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ranieri come through.
Aaron, my friend, what I'm trying to say respectfully, my bro, I completely agree in terms of your frustration, in terms of the wages and stuff like this. Players are not reaching their heights, right? Okay, and I completely agree with you right there. But one thing I don't agree with is that we are miles away. We're not miles away. Our wage structure is not a mess. Yes, it needs to be rectified. Yes, it needs to be looking at. For example, listen, think about it, right? We're looking at these players thinking, you know what? I think there's a player in him. I think he could last for the next 3-4 years. Hence the reason why we're giving him these wages. If we didn't think that, we wouldn't have given him. But now we need to retract that and look at them. It's like, all right, these players that we once thought that were good are no longer that. So we need to start looking at other players.
Okay, if Calafiori is so good, then why did a 17-year-old left 8 take his place?
Injuries.
No. But when Calafiori was fit, he still didn't win his place back. So if Calafiori was so good for 40 million quid, and some of the people said he's so good in the Euros, then why is a 17-year-old left 8 midfielder
let me answer that.
keeping it?
Okay, so why did he get signed?